What up, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. As always, it's me, Rich, from Publication, where we talk about zines, DIY culture. Basically, we talk about the ins and outs of running and trying to build a print media company, which is Furrow Publication. This is episode 3 of the Zine Hustle vlog. Let's go ahead and get into this shit now. I think today we're going to get into a few business matters, but for the most part, we're going to go ahead and conclude the Riot GRRRl. This is what I was looking for. Bam, we're going to conclude the Riot GRRRl Zine collection. Let me go ahead and grab my notes and we'll push out. And I guess we'll take care of the quick business stuff. So I spent yesterday looking at different places to sell that camera gear that I have. I found a few offers. It wasn't as high as I hoped, and I wasn't too off the mark, because I know that for the resale value, if I was to sell it to an individual, it'd be about $250, as was my guess, and I was hoping to get about $2, but they offered me something close to $2. I'm waiting for one more quote, and then I guess we'll go over that as soon as I get it. One other thing I want to mention that I'm thinking about whether or not I should sell is this. See, let me pump up the ISO so you can see it better. Is this. This is a Curtis Brewer 2.5 gallon brewer set. I got it for the restaurant. I used it for 2 years, and when I sold my portion of the restaurant, I decided to take it with me, because the plan for Furrow Publication was always to open up a coffee shop. I'm contemplating selling it just because I haven't used it, and like I said, like, it makes more sense for me to actually have it become something that I can make money off of now. So I'm thinking about it. I already started looking at certain companies that will buy it, and those quotes take a little longer. I have to send them pictures and model numbers and things like that for them to look over, and then we'll see what they offer. If the offer is reasonable, then I might do that. If they're trying to, because sometimes resellers like this is how crazy this is, right? One person, one quote for the camera gear I got was like $55. And I was like, what? And then the average person offered me 3 times that much. And so, like I said, like, it just depends, like, what they offer me for this. If it's reasonable, then I might do that. And then just fucking get more vending machines. Like, that's the hustle right now. Get hella vending machines. Like I said, litter California, because I think that right now is something tangible for me as a one-man band to fucking accomplish. Alright, you guys, beyond that, let's get to the motherfucking Riot GRRRl Zine collection. Boom! And we're back. So, let's conclude the Riot GRRRl Zine collection. For anybody that's been interested in it, it has been a very, very good read. I highly recommend this book. For the second half, some of the things that really stood out to me were the Bikini Kill excerpt has these 10 things that women were going through. So I want to go ahead and just, read them out real quick. So number 1, you take things too seriously, you are paranoid. Something that a lot of feminists hear. You are exclusionary and alienating to men. Because Lord forbid we create spaces for each individual, right? Or autonomous communities, Some women manage to go beyond sexism. You are not really a feminist because, and they try to quantify what feminism is, like if they're fucking the gatekeepers to feminism. Fucking, you're just bored. You are inventing the problem by talking about it so much. You are just trying to be political. What you are doing is sexist towards men. Wow, is that possible? Can women be sexist towards men? It's like the reverse racism discussion. I don't believe that shit. Don't worry, be happy. The ostrich idea of, like, you just put your head in the sand and it'll go away, you'll be fine. But I know a girl who lied about being raped. And number 10, complain. At least you don't have it as bad as women used to. People of color, women in other countries. I thought this excerpt from Bikini Kill number 2 was fucking spot on, man. It was really amazing. Some of the other things that I saw in this second half that I liked a lot was, like, there was all this interconnectedness inside of the zines. As an anarchist, that I love, like, all the letters between anarchists back in the day. And it was crazy to me because a lot of these zinesters were writing to or discussing or debating certain issues and points through the zines. And they would mention and quote and comment on. other zinesters, and I thought that was just amazing. Like, it really was this large network, and in that way it made it even more radical to me, because like I said, coming from like an anarchist perspective of like I like reading all these letters and articles that were in defense or against other anarchist thoughts. I always liked that because it made it feel like there was a community, right? It made it feel like Nestor Magno knew Enrico Malatesta and they had beef or whatever the fuck. And I enjoyed that. So that became very, very clear in this second half. Something else that became very, very clear was that it is hard to make a zine every month. I thought it was just me, and it's not just me. A lot of the zines that you read, a lot of the excerpts in the second half of the book are like, I know it's been a while. It took me a year. It took me more months than I would have assumed. And like, it's like, fuck yeah, like these things are hard to fucking push out. They're not that easy. Like, it is work. It's enjoyable work, but it is work and it can be draining. And I enjoyed that as well because, like I've talked about before, of like there is a shared labor that all zinesters kind of know in this print media, adventure that we're all on. Something else that I liked a lot about this zine was that the person that curated this, she did a really great job in the fact that there's different zines that cover different things. Like I Am So Fucking Beautiful talks about like body positivity and kind of counters like what she calls fat oppression. Another one was the Outpunk, which I thought was great. Outpunk was predominantly about same-sex couplings, or predominantly, I guess, gay men couplings, and kind of like what they were going through in the zine community and culture, as well as like what was the other one called, Chop Suey Specs, which was about the Asian American perspective on a lot of these same issues. And I thought that was great that they're showing that there was a large diversity, a lot of different narratives within this one narrative known as the Angry Girl movement, or better known as Riot GRRRl. And lastly, the other thing I thought was kind of strange and really cool is that Outpunk, in the beginning of the Outpunk excerpt, it talked about how people were already hearing or were waiting for this one zine. And I just thought that was very interesting, man. Me as a zinester, there are zines that I look forward to, but like that's what lets you know, like a lot of this literature that they created in that era, that 90s era, was that monumental because it didn't exist anywhere else, that people were waiting for it tooth and nail to get a copy of it. Going back to the discussion from yesterday, that's why zines matter, because it does allow us to give our perspective, to create our narrative, to empower our communities through our written word, through our art, and so on and so forth. And the more we have like zines and YouTube and SoundCloud and shit like that, where we can upload and distribute this content ourselves, we have less gatekeepers, the more and more we're able to diversify the perspectives and discussions, right? So like that way we're not always bombarded by the mainstream media telling us what the fuck is what, right? So I fucking hella enjoyed this book, man. I highly recommend it, you guys. Beyond that, we're gonna start getting into some fucking heavy zine reviewing, because I'm getting another fucking pile up back there, you guys. So we have to start reviewing some fucking zines. So expect some mega zine reviews on top of all the shit that we're doing here on this Zine Hustle vlog. Alright, you guys, that's all I got for you guys today, man. I will see you guys tomorrow. Late.
Fight the fascists.